Hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel. My name is Cameron. As you can see by the title, I have another video in my truth series on my channel, which is my favorite series on my channel. These are my favorite videos to film. It actually just came to me, it got put on my heart to make a video about the truth about childhood friends. And I know most people, a lot of us, we have childhood friends. We have friends that we grew up with, friends that we had since elementary school that we still have today. This video is really going to be focusing on childhood friends in adulthood. So that transition from you guys being friends in childhood and now you guys are full-blown adults trying to navigate that friendship and really examine the depth of the friendship and really asking yourself if this is someone you should really be keeping around in your life. So before we get into this video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share the video, and turn on post notifications to be notified whenever I post a new video. So without further ado, let's get into this video. The first part of this video will be me talking about why childhood friends are important in adulthood. When you're an adult, to have the opportunity to still be in contact, close contact with your childhood friends, it's a beautiful thing. It's a blessing, especially if you guys have a really great, healthy friendship. It's a really special thing to have close relationships with people that you've known since childhood. Those are some of the people that know you the best. You guys have that really deep bond and connection that you can have possibly for the rest of your lives. They know you very, very well. So if you ever like get off course, or if you're like, you know, doing a little too much, acting differently, they're the ones that can get you together, be like, no, like you aren't acting like yourself, and you need to reel it back and get back on track. Childhood friends are the type of friends that can do that probably better than anybody else. They're the ones pretty much that are not afraid to check you if necessary, if you get out of line, you know, in a healthy way, in a loving way, not anything rude, of course. They love you and they want to see you do well, and they don't want to see you do things that they know that you know aren't good for you. I think it's really great to still have lifelong friends in adulthood who you can grow old with and spend your life with and still be friends when you're 60, 70, and 80 years old. I think it's really, really, truly a blessing if you are an adult and you have a best friend who you met as a child and you guys are still able to maintain that friendship, be there for each other, rely on each other, have a really great friendship that you know that you'll have forever. I think that's really beautiful because not a lot of people have that. I think most people don't even have that at all, especially not with a childhood friend. If you're the type of person who has a childhood friend or even a group of childhood friends who you're still in contact with, who you're still really, really great friends with, I think that's such an amazing thing. You've been blessed for sure. When you get older and older in life, it gets harder to like make new friends. So then when you already have those really great friends with people that you've known since you were 5 or 6 years old, that's great, because a lot of people, they grow up and they break apart and they fall off, and then they realize that they're not meant to be friends anymore. But when you can make it on the other side of that and you guys are able to have longevity within your friendship, that's really, really a great thing. One last thing I'll say about childhood friends: when you have childhood friends, you guys have like so many memories together because you've known each other for so long. You've known each other since you were kids, literally. So you guys essentially have grown up together and you guys have experienced so many different things together. And all these experiences you don't have with other people, you only have with your friend who you've known since you were a kid. So literally at any moment you can just like, remember that one time, or remember that one time when this happened or when that happened, and you guys just immediately start laughing because it was so funny and you guys experienced it together. And you can have that same experience with some of your other friends maybe that you didn't have in childhood. But I think then sometimes there comes a point when childhood friends need to be let go, and I think a lot of times we have a hard time knowing when that time has come. Okay, so the second part of this video is me talking about when you finally come to the realization that it's time to distance yourself from your childhood friend or friends. There just comes a point in time where you realize you and your childhood friend really just aren't compatible anymore, and the friendship has really run its course. The things that once bonded you together, the things that you both like, the things that you both had in common, they just aren't there anymore because you guys have gotten older, and as you get older you change, you grow, and you evolve. So sometimes people either grow together or they grow apart, and that can be anybody. That could be family or friends, co-workers, everybody. You guys could have been super close in elementary school when you guys were 8, 9, 10 years old. Then fast forward 10 years, now you're 18, 19, 20 years old, and you're asking yourself, why are we really friends? We were great friends when we were in the 4th grade, but now when we're adults in college, it's like maybe we're not as close as we used to be. The friendship is no longer serving you. It's no longer adding any value in your life. It's no longer adding any joy. You're having a hard time finding the purpose of the friendship. When you ask yourself, like, why are we still friends? It's hard for you to come up with the answer. That's when you know it's time to let go of the friendship. Then there are times when you realize the friendship was never really serving you to begin with. There was no real purpose to begin with. The only reason reason we became friends is because of this, but this is not even a factor anymore. So like, why are we still friends? So I've had childhood friends that I've had to distance myself from because I just didn't feel like we were close and I didn't feel like we had anything in common. And I realized that I didn't really enjoy spending time with them. The foundation of this friendship is like false. The only reason we're friends is because we were in the same class or something like that. If we weren't in the same class, or we didn't have this or we didn't have that, we literally would have never been friends because our personalities don't work well together. That's what I realized about some of my childhood friends. I think when you get to a place where you feel like, I don't need you in my life, I don't need to be friends with you. If I never saw you again in life, I'd be perfectly fine. And I think if you feel that way about your friend, that's not your friend. Especially if it's a childhood friend who people think that you guys are like best friends, but it's like, we're not best friends. And people love to throw around the friend word, especially best friend. We're not best friends. We're not friends either. People associate the length of time you know someone with being their best friend. Just because we've known each other for a long time, that does not mean that we're best friends. Absolutely not. And I think a lot of people, especially childhood friends, they think, oh, we've been friends since 6 years old. That's my best friend. Say if you're 50 years old now. I've known you since I was 20. That means we're best friends. And it doesn't mean that. You can have someone who you met a year ago and you're way better friends with them than someone that you've known for 20 years. I think a lot of people associate the length of time you know someone with best friend status, and I don't think it should be like that at all. I didn't feel connected to my childhood friends anymore. I had to reevaluate the entire friendship because I've said this in so many videos, but in order for me to call you my friend, I need to feel emotionally connected to you. I need to enjoy spending time with you. I need to like you as a person. Like, I like to hang out with you. I like to talk to you on the phone. We can have a fun time when we're together, and it doesn't need to be some wild activity. It can just be us chilling, talking in the car at a restaurant or hanging out in either of ours room, and we still have a fun time, a good time. I didn't feel like that with my childhood friends, and I've been feeling like that for years, and I got to a point where I was kind of like over it, and I was like tired of participating in this fantasy that we're just super close and we're best friends when we never really were to begin with. I needed to feel something different. I needed to have friends that I felt something towards, and I wasn't getting that from my childhood friends, so I had to remove myself from the situation. And I think if you're a person who feels the same way, it's okay to distance yourself from your childhood friends. And I know it can be tough because, again, childhood friends, you guys have known each other for years. Life's too short to be friends with people, spending all this time with people who you don't really enjoy being around. Life is way too short for that. I'd rather spend time by myself than hang out with friends who are just not who I really want to be spending my time with. A person who has childhood friends in adulthood, you have to ask yourself why you're even friends in the first place. What is the foundation of the friendship, and what is the reason and purpose that you guys are still friends now in adulthood? If it's based off how long you guys have known each other, if it's based on something that's dumb and surface level and it doesn't matter really in the end of the day, it doesn't really matter in life, then it's like, wow, okay, maybe I need to step back from this friendship. The friendship you had at 6 or 7 years old is not the same friendship that you're going to have at 26, 27 years old, because you guys have changed as people. The things you liked back then in the first grade is not the same stuff you like now when you're a full-blown grown adult. As you get older, you just have different values and you have different priorities, and sometimes those values and those priorities do not match up with each other and they do not align like they maybe did in the past. When you have that type of dynamic going on, it's really not beneficial to continue to be friends with them. I'd say there's literally nothing holding you to this friendship, and then it's time to move on from it and from each other. When you move on from childhood friends, it doesn't need to be some huge like issue with each other. Y'all don't have to fall out with each other. Y'all don't have to dislike each other or hate each other. It doesn't need to be some big huge fight or issue. There's a way to distance yourself amicably without there being discord and tension. You just have to talk to the person like adults, explain how you feel. They can speak their piece and they're going to feel how they want to feel, but it doesn't need to be a fight where you guys hate each other at the end of it. Still be cordial with them whenever you see each other. You guys just aren't friends anymore, and that's perfectly fine. You don't need to be an adult and still be like this with your childhood friends just because you've known each other for 20 or 30 years. I know it's easier said than done. I know it can be hard. Distance yourself from someone who you've known for 20, 25 or 30 years. I know that's really difficult. That could be a really hard thing to like wrap your head around. For me, it wasn't that hard because friendship wasn't making me feel anything. I'm all about feelings for me. I didn't feel anything. I didn't feel close to them. I didn't feel connected to them. So it wasn't like a hard thing for me to wrap my head around the idea of us not being friends anymore. But I know for other people, it's the opposite of that. It can be very, very hard, especially if this is someone who you were once very, very close with, but now you realize that you guys aren't close anymore and it's time to like break up the friendship. Sometimes childhood friends, or the idea of childhood friends, can be very overrated. I heard someone say on a YouTube video or Instagram or something like, I can't date a person who doesn't have any friends that they've had for 20 years. They can't date anybody who doesn't have any childhood friends, basically. And I'm like, what? That's so dumb. Like, I completely disagree. I can see why it would be a red flag to date someone who doesn't have any friends at all. They have absolutely no social life at all because they don't have anybody to hang out with. Yeah. But childhood friends, like, no, you don't need to have childhood friends in order to be a good partner to someone. You don't need to have childhood friends in order to be in a healthy relationship. Like, literally no correlation with anything as far as a relationship goes. Some people think, oh, this is my friend and we've known each other since we were 2. We've known each other since we were 6 months. Like, okay, that's great, but how's the friendship going right now? Do you guys still add value to each other's life? Do you guys still have a healthy friendship? Do you guys communicate with each other effectively? Do you guys still have a great time? You guys are together? Do you guys trust each other? Are you guys loyal to one another? Because if the answer is no, then that's not anything to brag about. How long you've known someone? Because you can know someone since you were 2 seconds old, but if y'all have a horrible friendship and y'all don't really like each other like that behind closed doors, then what are we talking about? So I think the big thing is about childhood friends and adulthood is knowing when to decipher if the friendship should continue or if the friendship should be broken off. You know, deep down in your heart, you know the answer to that. I don't think it's something that you really have to think about too heavily. You know when a friendship is running its course, or you know when a friendship is sent from God. You know that this person is supposed to be in your life for a very long time. It's not that hard to know the difference. Okay, so childhood friendships in adulthood can be an amazing, wonderful thing to have in your life if they're healthy and you still have common interests and you guys seriously still love and value each other as a part of each other's lives. But then you might have the flip side where childhood friends can be toxic and they can be unhealthy, and then you realize that the friendship is no longer serving a purpose in your life. And then you realize the big reason that you guys are still even friends is because of the amount of time you've known each other, as opposed to actually being true friends who love and support each other. So as I've always said in all of my friendship videos, friends are extremely important in life. Just because someone's your childhood friend, just because you've known them for X amount of years, that does not mean that you need to keep them in your life in adulthood. It does not mean that you're bounded to this friendship for life. It's okay to break away from a childhood friend. It's okay to distance yourself and step back from the relationship when you realize that relationship is toxic, it's unhealthy, it's pointless. You guys aren't close anymore. You guys don't have anything in common. All those things that you don't want in a friend. It's okay to remove yourself from that friendship and work on strengthening the other friendships in your life, or even work on making new friends who you have a healthy dynamic with. Let me know down below what your guys' thoughts are on childhood friendships and adulthood. Let me know your experience with your childhood friends, if it's been a good experience or maybe even a bad experience. Let me know down below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share the video, and turn on notifications to be notified whenever I post a new video. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Cameron_Martin_. I love you guys so much. You made it to the end of this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.